Hi, this is the Frankie Pace Show, and I am your host, Frankie Pace. My guests tonight are two-time Emmy Award winner Kenvin Rooney, Dr. John Riccadelli. He's going to talk about sleep deprivation and weight loss. And actor, comedian Rich Scheidner, all here on the Frankie Pace Show. So don't go nowhere. We're going to have a lot of fun.
I wasn't sure if I should do stand-up on this show tonight because I haven't been doing stand-up for a while. About 3 months, because I've been writing on the Dennis Miller Show. Don't know if you watch this show. Good show. He's a smart guy. It's supposed to be a smart show. I was interested in doing that, but I found out after a while down here that doing a smart show in Hollywood is like trying to put a baboon's heart in a child, you know? Yeah, it's only a matter of time before it's rejected. You know, it's because it's Hollywood. I call it Hollywood, as a matter of fact, because Blockheadville wouldn't fit on the side of the mountain up there. And frankly, I'm out of touch with my act. You know, I used to at least do topical political material. But now, I look at this current bumper crop of guys, and I just think, I don't know what to say about them. I have no interest in them at all. Do you feel that way? I don't care. They're just, to me, politics is just a group of jackboot slogan mongers out there jabbing us with sound bites like a bunch of crack-crazed farmers trying to drive a cow to the slaughterhouse, you know. Right? And every 4 years they say, no, it's a new improved slaughterhouse. Go ahead, get in there, you know. We're the cows. Go on, vote. No, we don't want to go. Don't want to vote. Generally in comedy clubs, it's not good comedy club fodder anymore. Politics, things that affect our lives, is not what people want to hear about. I go down to, for instance, Orange County, and they are very politically... I guess not unaware, but it's weird. Just mention politics. Just mention the president, and they just cinch up like you would in a shower if a stranger just lightly touched your anus. You know, they kind of...
That's the controversial Kenvin Rooney. I love him. Kenvin Rooney, we're going to have him on the show, and I'm going to interview him right now. Kenvin Rooney. Kenvin, my man, how are you? It's good to hear your voice.
Doing good, Frankie. You too. It's been a long time.
I think it's been, 10 years since we sat down at that cafe in L.A.?
Has it been? And I haven't talked to you in that length of time. I think I've talked to you since then, but maybe briefly at the Improv years ago.
Probably.
We're old. We don't go out. Not in the same nursing home. You never talk to anybody.
You know, I look at that video. That's got to be a while. You remember this video I just played, right?
For that, from the A-List, yeah. Richard Lewis was the host back then. That would have been 91 when I started working on Dennis's Tribune show.
I have to say, when I look at you and I say, what a handsome man you are, and you make all bald-headed men proud. That you are the most handsome of all the bald-headed guys we know.
You're a good man. The bald thing was like, but it inhibited my career because I could never, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I did look better than people wanted bald men to look. You know, when you're going out casting?
Yeah.
I get a casting call to some commercial or something where they wanted a bald doofus in the commercial, and I'd go in the room and I'd look around the other bald guys and go, is this really my gene pool in here? This is hilarious. They're homunculi. They come out from the woods. And then, you know, I would never get that job.
Yeah. You're too handsome, my friend. You should have put on
really
a toque.
Looking bald guy.
You would have put on a toque, man. You would be like another Tom Cruise dude, man.
If I could have had hair, I wouldn't have had a comedy career, but I might have had an acting career. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you know, that's what Uncle Dirty once told me. Frankie Pace, you put on a toupee and we'll lose a good comic.
Yep. It certainly felt like that. It always felt like good, you know, fodder for a good way to break the ice, do a couple bald jokes. What I liked about that A-List, I didn't do any of those jokes, and it was one of the sets that I liked, that I just started into with a point of view and a place to go, and, you know, it was a coherent piece of work.
It was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. I loved every minute of it. And it's old, and I mean, it's been around, and it's still good.
funny. Yeah, it is old, and I look a lot different in it. Since then I got diabetes and lost a lot of weight, so I'm a more beefed up bald guy in there with a thicker face.
We all have. I have diabetes too. Everybody has it. Don't feel bad.
No, it just ate me up a little bit.
Yeah.
I was never heavy, and then I went the other direction, like 121 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got the flu, and I got up after 4 or 5 days, drinking juice and laying in bed and thinking I was doing the right thing. I couldn't make it upstairs. I went and laid in the tub, and I was just laying on my spine and my pelvis. It was creepy.
That is creepy. That is scary, man.
Yeah, it is. I had no idea how that worked.
But you're under medication now. You're doing fine. You sound great.
Thanks. You too.
You sound terrific. And how's Jinky, your dog? You still have that dog?
Oh, yeah, I got Jinky. He's getting older now, but Jinky's a fabulous little dog. Sleeps on the pillow on my head. We got another one, Lammy. He's a Bichon that I never would have gotten one, but we were just fostering him. He'd been run over in South Central, and they were doing a lot of operations on his legs. But he was such an optimistic guy. I fell in love with him, so we kept him, and we got the little Buggy, and they got another Cairn Terrier,
right.
The Cairn Terrier is the oldest one, and she's like a blonde version of Toto.
Your wife Carol, am I correct?
Yeah.
She's an advocate for dogs, and she
doing a lot of work, closing down puppy mills and trying to close down pet stores.
And also for those pit bulls, those poor pit bulls that are being grown to fight and then killed off.
Yeah, we used to know a guy who was in a pit bull rescue. He was a big burly LA type of guy, at a furniture store, but he was big, and he used to get these pit bulls, rescue pit bulls who were bred for fighting and were all chewed up, and we used to love this guy. He used to find out who the owners were who had them, who had surrendered them, and use them for fighting, and he would go to their house with a couple other guys, and he would say, "You think fighting's fun? Let's go." And he would beat these guys up. It was a very, it was a nice piece of revenge.
But what's wrong with these people? What's in their heads that they, even these crazy Mexicans with these cockfights? I mean, what's in their heads to have animals fight like that and just sit by and go, "Yeah, go get them, man."
Oh.
Is it the drugs or what? I don't get it,
They're missing a gene for empathy is all I think. I think they're just not put together correctly. They can't, because all people who grow up, people who start out torturing animals or shooting them and not having any empathy for them usually grow up to be bad for other people too. That's where you're.
I feel
serial killers.
I fear for their kids. What are their kids going to be like if the father's like that? Hey, my dad, he kills pit bulls. Hey, he's a great guy, my dad. That's kind of scary when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Group of sociopaths out there, and you're around. I used to laugh about this. Say you're in there, like I said in that A-list bit. They're in there amongst us.
That's right.
They look like us, and they seem like us until you get to scratch the surface, and they're fighting dogs, and birds, and going on safari and shooting elephants, and you just go, "What are you?" I did that when I was a kid. I had a BB or a pellet rifle I got.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going out one day when I was about 13 or 14, and I had a younger brother and sister, and they were being babysat by an older woman who lived down the street. And I went out, shot a bird. And I felt bad about it, but I picked it up and brought it home thinking maybe if I bring it home and show it to the old woman, she'll praise me instead of, but I sure as enough, I bring it back, I go, "Look what I shot." She looks at me like, "Why would you do that?"
Yeah, that's funny because that happened to me. I was up in the country, up in New York State. My father took me up to see his cousin, and here, Frankie, here's a .22, and I was shooting cans and stuff. And here's this poor little robin on a little fence, and I shot at it and was really far away, but I hit it. And the pit of my stomach just opened up. I wanted to puke. I was like, "Oh my God! I actually killed something that was living." It's
an innocent, just a bird. Yeah. And then people the wrong person will say, "Nice shot, Frank. How'd it go, baby?"
Yeah. Here's another bullet. Do it again, man.
Do it again. Get something bigger. Hey, there's a human baby just a little past the bird. Shoot that.
Everybody laughs when I say this. I said, but the problem with the world, Lenin was right. Love and peace. What the world needs is love. I mean, that's the whole answer to this whole planet. But, you just can't get these morons to understand that.
Well, and I can't love a lot of these people.
I know.
The problem is, I think love is the answer, but you meet some of these people, and hatred's the only route.
I know.
I'm not going to love this guy.
But you had an extensive career, man. But I don't know if you want to get into that. I'm just going to glaze over it. You've had a couple of Emmys. You've done many Tonight shows. You've co-produced a lot of shows. One with Damon Wayans, and you've been a busy cat, man. I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Really good work. And what are you doing now? Are you just resting on your laurels, or are you writing anything new? Or
right now, I'm just replacing termite and water damage wood rot.
Good for you, man. That's
literally replacing water damage and wood rot, and I have metaphorical water damage and wood rot in my head and my body, and I got to take care of all that stuff.
Yeah. Did you ever think of going back to doing some stand-up at all for a little therapeutic relaxation?
I have, but there's no clubs that are open from 4 in the afternoon till 7 at night.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Can't go out now. I find it, it gets to be towards the end of the day. I like to take a little nap around, in the middle of Hardball with Chris Matthews. I might take a little nap.
Yeah.
And then at night you're in with the wife. You cook some dinner. I'm hanging out with the dogs. I just it gets to be 9 o'clock like it used to be when I was doing stand-up. And the idea of getting on your performance armor and going down to the club to sit around to wait to do a set. I just am not into it. But I enjoy hanging out with people and doing, I used to say you get into stand-up because you're funny with friends.
Right.
It becomes a business, and it gets to be less fun.
Yeah, that's true. And
lots of people, and then now I'm back to where I can just sit around and kind of, I was lucky. I caught a little bit of a break. I got a little bit of a cushion. I don't have to worry about next week. So I can relax around the picnic table up here with friends and have some real legitimate laughs that aren't constrained by what the audience might think or somebody who might see you and not like you. You just do what you like, and because laughter really does fill up the tank. It's
well, you go into the business with the artistic mentality, and these bastards just cut you up. And after about 5 or 10 years of it, you're like, I'm really starting to hate these other people because they don't care about the business. It's just the money. It's
money. It's getting on a show. Nobody, there were people who did stand-up because they thought stand-up was great. And then there were people who did stand-up because it was an avenue to sitcom or movie acting or something. So they had their 10, 15 minutes for showcases, and that was it.
I'm not even talking about the artists and so much. I'm talking about the suits that run the business. They're the ones that tear the crap out of the artists, and they go, why was Rodney such a prick, Well, hey, maybe he went through a lot of hell in the business. Who knows? Some of these guys, you say, why are they so bitter? Well, the business tears you apart. It brings you up. It makes you feel good, and they'll drop you at the drop of a hat, man. If they can find somebody else cheaper, or it's so sad, really, in one respect.
When you're doing the business, when you are a racehorse.
Mm-hmm.
Then the owners want you to run on certain tracks, certain days, and certain ways, and they want you to win. And if you don't win, you go to the glue factory, and that's just the brutal nature of it.
Yeah.
And it's like that in everything. Friends. My wife wrote a book, and it was just brutal trying to get it seen and trying to get it published. And once you get it published, trying to get it bought.
Yeah.
There's so many books that come out every year.
Well, now ebooks are taking over, and it's even more. It's making it easier. Just like comedy is getting easier for everybody. That's why there's 85,000 comedians. There's probably 1 million writers out there now because, I'll just write a book and throw it on ebooks and sell it for $1 or 50 cents.
Right, and to come to the attention of anybody, and that is like if your little pamphlet went into the New York Public Library and the upstairs on the bottom shelf in the back rack, it's like no one's going to walk in and find that.
Right,
Look for it, so... Yeah, and stand-up, too. It's like you've got to find other ways to make money than just doing stand-up. It's got to be selling T-shirts and CDs at the gig and kinds of stuff like that.
So you're still hanging out at the same coffee shop? Or
Yeah, I've got when I was working, it depended on where I was. If I was at Castle Rock on the other side of the hill down in Beverly Hills, I had a route there that went past a Coffee Bean, and,
Mm-hmm.
So I would be a regular there for a while.
Right.
And I was old enough that when I stopped working at Castlerock, I'm sure the people at the Coffee Bean thought I died. So then I got another one over work at Damon's show over on the other side of the hill down at Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
That brings you past another Starbucks in Toluca Lake, so you get to be a regular there. And then if you're at Carsey Werner, you're over in Radford, and there's another Starbucks over there. So I had a little cycle of coffee shops you'd go through.
You run into some of the old guys from improv and catch and comic strip at all?
You do occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's sad. I run into one guy, and hadn't seen him in a long time, and he saw me and perked up and came over, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to get kicked out of my house this week if I don't have $1,000 today."
Oh, jeez.
So it's like, oh, okay, well, you know.
Here's a buck. What do you want me to do?
And then, you know, sometimes you see guys that are doing well. They're working on a show. They're writing. They're on a break from a show in the studio. And
Yeah.
they ask me what I'm doing. I have to say I'm not doing anything. I sold all my writing books and writing equipment, you know.
I would love to see you do some work again. I mean, you know, I know you have your own life set, but it'd be so nice to see you and a bunch of other guys maybe put a little show together just for old time's sakes and do a run maybe for a week or two.
Yeah. Well, actually, I thought, I don't know if I told you, I had wanted to do a thing called the Boomer Humor Tour where it was all comics over 50 for people over 50 for under $25. That would be the kind of...
That's great.
You know, like me, Rich Scheidner, J.J. Wall,
Yeah.
Kathy Labman, John Caponari, you.
Yeah.
There's lots of people
How's
who are...
JJ doing? I haven't seen JJ in ages.
He's I guess he's, I don't want to say...
He was producing
the other
those.
day, and he was doing fine.
Yeah.
He moved from... We used to live down the hill in a beautiful big old place there, and they moved over to the beach for a change of pace and lifestyle.
Yeah.
So everybody's going through their, you know, we're all 55 to 60-something and going through one change or the other. But I have thought about that, taking I remember seeing Dane Cook doing a tour on a bus with some of his friends, and I thought, I think I know funnier friends than that.
I think it would be fun. I think it would just be a cap on your life as far as, you know, getting together and enjoying it and then saying, okay, I did that, and now, you know, I'm just going to go back and relax again. And
I thought it would be fun for, like, a show of 4 or 5 older guys to
right,
with,
right.
and get a bus and, you know, go San Diego, L.A., San Francisco, something like that. Seattle, the crowds are, you can get that crowd, and the boomer crowd, and do theaters and tape the shows and tape the conversations on the bus and that kind of stuff. I thought that would be a fun thing to do. I still think it would be a fun thing to do.
And you could do a meet and greet, actually, too, right? I think the people would love to talk to you up front and personal. And
right. You tape all that stuff and have fun with people.
So are you still...
I would sell the deal I was going to sell. My whole plan was not to try and sell that to, you know, a network or...
No, they
wouldn't get it.
No.
And you'd say, I'm just going to sell the DVD directly to, like, through ARP and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Louis C.K. did something like that. Didn't he have a tiff with HBO, and he said, screw that, and he went directly to the public? And
he did it. I didn't see it, but, you know, I like him. He's a funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
I think he uploaded it directly onto the internet or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like I think it was pay-per-view, I think, for $5 or something.
It may have been. I mean, you know, why not?
Sure.
Cut out the middleman and just upload it, and he's well enough known that he's going to get a lot of people who are willing to pay dollars to see his...
well, I think he did it just on spite because they kind of wanted to say, like, well, you know, Louis, you're dealing with us, and, you know, and we have to do it this way. And he probably said, you know what, screw this shit. I don't need this shit. Maybe I'll do it on my own. And I got to give him kudos for that, man. He's...
Me too. Well, you know, why not? The new media, the social media and the internet... These people, just like in the record business, these people who were the gatekeepers to the audience are becoming more and more irrelevant, and they don't have any power. You can go right around them.
Yeah, it's like the publishers. These book publishers are losing it too, you know. Because,
everybody. You go, when you can just upload your book right onto the cloud.
Yeah.
You know, these guys are getting less and less relevant. You know, and you go, good for you. You guys didn't ever bring anything to the party anyway.
That's right. All they do is take. They want to make a phone call and grab it all. That's all they do. That's all they want to do. You know.
They want to tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
They want when I tell you, I don't want this joke in the show, or I want this over here. I want this an extra chapter about this in the book, and you're going,
Yeah.
why am I talking to you about that?
I think the dog that you have should wear little booties.
Yeah. We've done some research, and the dogs with booties are perfect for the kind of audience you're trying to reach.
Yeah.
Women between 25 and 27.
Oh, God.
Beach.
You still living in Paris part-time or what? What are you doing?
I do. I'm lucky. I live in France about half the year in Nice, in the south of France, down there.
My daughter used to live in Paris. Now she lives in London. She's a producer out there.
That's a great Paris. What a city.
Yeah, she loved it. My wife went out there for a while. I was too busy working, but I never got a chance to go. But I ended up going to London to see her there, and they're very nice there. They're very nice people, man. They've got their shit together over there.
London's a cool city. But have you never been to Paris?
No, I haven't. I wanted to.
I always picture you in your beret.
Yeah.
You fit right in like Super Mario Brother, walking around the streets of.
And how's your wife Carol doing? She's still working. She's an actress. She does pretty well for herself, huh?
She's doing well. She's caught up in the animal rights.
Okay,
right
cool.
Now. But she was back to singing because she was.
She was a singer too, huh?
And she did worked with Prince, did a Color of Money on that Sign of the Times album.
Wow.
And she had a good singing career. She's got a great voice. So, but she had been a little bit hurt by the music industry. That's a tough business, too.
How'd you guys meet, anyway? Did you meet in New York, or did you meet out in L.A.? Or
in L.A. through a friend, Greg Greenberg, introduced us. Greg worked with me on the Dennis Miller show, after the Tribune show, the HBO show.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, he's a smart, funny guy who worked with Chris Rock on his show and did a bunch of stuff, won a few Emmys. He's an interesting guy. And he introduced me to Carol in 2004.
Yeah.
But we didn't, or not 2004, 94, when I was working on the HBO Live with him.
Okay.
And that, we had dinner one night, but I was kind of just getting started in my writing career, really, and, living in a little guest house. I used to call it, it was down a driveway past some garbage barrels. I used to call it where, the house where Peter Rabbit went to OT. Didn't feel like I could handle Carol then. Then in 2000, Greg came out to stay with me for some other stuff, another job he was doing out here, and reintroduced me to Carol, and then we started going out a little bit. And
oh, cool.
Then, I was coming off my diabetes collapse, and it's just one thing, the timing was right. So we've been together now for, 10, 11, 12 years. So.
Still wearing a goatee?
No. I finally got rid of it.
I like that, man. I thought you were like a real cool, avant-garde dude, man. I like that.
Well, back then, the goatee and the mustache, no, it wasn't all over the place.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Willis started doing that a couple of years later, and all of a sudden they were ubiquitous, and I just looked like another 45, 50-year-old trying to maintain some kind of individuality with his hairstyles.
You know what I like about you, Kevin?
What?
I haven't talked to you in a long time, and I feel like it's only yesterday.
I know. Well, there's some people you're lucky. You're like that. I have other friends that are like that. I don't feel like, they don't make you feel bad if you haven't talked to them in 10 years. You just go, well, time goes by, we're not here and there. But then when you do talk again, you're very comfortable talking to them. So
yeah, okay.
Those are people you are simpatico with, and there aren't a whole lot of them. So
yeah.
But I have other friends up in Saratoga Springs, New York. I've known for, when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
We had stretches of time where we didn't talk, but I can call him up or go see him and fall right back into conversation. Very simple, easy, friendly conversation, too. So.
Well, I think you're a great guy, and I love you, man. I think you're a real sweetheart. And we never really hung out much. We've seen each other. We've crossed paths. We sat down and had coffee a few times. But the memories I get from you are just fantastic. And I really appreciate you coming on this show and opening.
You were hilarious. Still do the push, Mrs. Rodriguez.
The baby bit, yeah.
The cloth up over your head. Push, Mrs. Rodriguez.
I just got a little email here from Vince Pastore. You know Vince Pastore, Big Pussy?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to schedule for last night and didn't make it, so he's going to do another one. So I hope to get him on the show too. But it's really been great having you.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
And you're a gentleman, and you're a scholar, and you're a funny bastard.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Frankie.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
All right, man.
Kev.
I'll talk to you soon. Huh?
All right. That's Kenvin Rooney, a really private guy, too. And he doesn't like to brag about his career, but I'm going to tell you something. He won 2 Emmys. He produced over 22 episodes. He wrote, acted. So there you have it.